Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am changing this channel up a little bit and we're going to be focusing on getting anyone that is interested in opening a brick and mortar storefront business to their grand opening. I love the vibe of the little shops and I want them to come back. I think people miss that in-person experience. So this channel is going to be all about how to get the pieces together so that you can have your very own storefront with your vibe, the way that you want it to run. Those kinds of pieces are scattered to the wind and it takes a long time to gather them up. And this is going to be your one-stop shop so that you can do that a lot easier. Today, we are going to be talking about competition and what that means to you as a small business owner. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe so that I can help people every single week with a new video. Let's just get right into it. We're going to talk about competition, why it is important, why it's useful, and why it's good for you and for your business. Number one, it means your business idea is viable. I know there's a lot of kind of rumors out there that you're supposed to just come up with something brand new. But frankly, if you're trying to get funding or if you want anybody to invest, coming up with a brand new idea is actually a lot harder to get an investment in, whether it's from a bank or a family member or friends. They want to know that it's something that works. So having an idea that already has competition means that it is an idea that works. So that is in the plus column for sure. I'm going to call this next one 1.5, and that is because not only do you want to know that that idea works, but you want to know that that idea works in your area. Sometimes you feel like you should be able to walk in and say, hey, they don't have this kind of shop. I'm going to open it. And then you realize the reason that there isn't that kind of shop is because there's not a need for it in that area. So sometimes having those already in your area is a good way to know that it actually works. The people in your area already know what that kind of business is, and they like having multiple choices when they're going around. Another reason that having competition in your area is really good is that then you can assess your market position. Are you on the high end? Are you the Rodeo Drive? Are you the Louis Vuitton? Who are you in this market? Who are you setting up your shop for? What are your customers? Do you want them to be at the very most expensive price point, or are you coming down to a reasonable price point that can serve a lot more people? You need to know where it is that you fit in your market before you open because you can't market to everyone. You really do have to figure out who exactly your customer is and attract them. Otherwise, you're sort of turning everybody off because the people that want to shop at Rodeo Drive don't want to shop at a place that's lower cost. They really don't want to. And the people that are lower cost don't want to shop at Rodeo Drive. They think it's ridiculous. So you sort of have to figure out where you are in that market and build your business from the inside with that in mind. Now, that sort of moves into number four, or I guess it's number three, that is your pricing. Again, if you know where you sit in your market position, the price point is a lot easier to come up with because you say, okay, I'm not all the way up here, I'm not all the way down here, I'm somewhere in the middle. What's a reasonable price for what I'm doing? When you are starting your business from scratch, you really do have a lot of power on what you decide to charge people. But if your market position and your price points don't match, you'll have a really hard time bringing in the right customers and finding that match so that your store can be successful. The next reason that having competition in your area is really good is because you can really figure out what is it that you bring that is different? What about your vibe of your store, your bookstore, your flower shop, your boutique, your coffee shop is different than the ones that are already in your area. Just because there are 75 of them doesn't mean that any of them will look just like yours. The beauty of opening your own store is that your personality can't help but shine through. And no matter how many of them you walk into or how many people walk into your store, they're never going to be an exact match because the people that open the store can't help but bring their personality forward and bring that separate vibe in the best way possible. It's good to have the other businesses around you that have the same basic idea of what their shop is, because then you can say, okay, well, I like this about this one, I like this about this one, I really dislike this about this one. And then you can bring your own things together And that's why it's so much fun to open your own shop. Our first brick and mortar is a children's indoor playground, and we really wanted to bring in the pieces of the parent. It's like it's really fun for a kid pretty much anywhere, but like the parent has to be there too. And so we really, when we opened, we wanted to make sure that the customer who is the one that's buying the ticket, which is the parent, can have a good time too, and they can enjoy a real espresso drink instead of, bad coffee. So, when we designed it, when we came up with what we were selling inside, when we came up with the pattern of how the layout of the building was, all of those things came from the competition in the area and assessing what it was that we liked about them and what we didn't. So I think that's a really important piece of why having competition is so good for you, and it helps you really flesh out what it is that you want your store, your personal store, to look like. In that vein, I want to say don't be afraid to talk about your idea. There's so many people talking out there about how you got to keep your idea to yourself and make sure that nobody steals it. And I'm here to tell you that, first of all, 99% of people are never going to open a place. Like, it is a very, very small percentage of people that are willing to go through what it takes to open a storefront. And if you're that person, if you're going to be the one that actually is going to build this business and, do the construction and take out the loan if you have to and look at the inventory and all of that kind of stuff, you're already a completely rare bird. So you don't have to worry about somebody else taking that idea. But also, as I talked about earlier, you really are you. And your store is going to reflect that. And whether it's like just the little nuances, the kind of furniture you have in there, what kind of flowers you tend to gravitate towards yourself versus a different flower shop that is mostly geared towards weddings and romance. Maybe you're more wildflowers. Like, all of those things make you unique. And the best thing you can do for your store is to get the word out that you're even doing this in the first place. I absolutely tell my clients from the very beginning, you should be talking about this. It should be on social media. When you first start building, when there's, a huge construction mess all over the floor, people love to hear about that stuff. They like to be a part of the growth of it. So don't be afraid to go out there and talk about your idea. The last thing that I want to say is that business ideas are the best when you think about them as bar districts and love songs. And I will say this a lot as I go through my videos, but a bar district has tons of bars in it. Nobody's worried about competition because now everybody knows where to go if they want to go to a bar, right? And sometimes you're in the mood for a dance club, and sometimes you're in the mood for some quiet music where you can sit back with your friends. Both of those things are very valid and viable business ideas, but they're just, you may be not in the mood, or maybe you want to go to all seven of them as you're going through the evening, depending on, kind of your route. So it's the same for all kinds of businesses. People like to know where to go. They want to make sure it's easy. They have a different mood each day. Maybe they like this coffee shop one day and this coffee shop a different day because they run different, kind of art shows or book things or, whatever it is. Either way, sometimes that place is the one that has the right vibe for you. So when you are thinking about how many of them are out there and it feels daunting and it feels like, well, everybody's already done this, this idea is already done, I'm here to say again, there are never enough, and you can never have the same idea. The reason I say bar districts and love songs is because love songs are the same way, right? I mean, they're all basically about the same things. There's a million of them that cover each topic, but sometimes you're in the mood for one and sometimes you're in the mood for another, and there's never going to be enough of them. Somebody's already always ready to hear a new love song and to fall in love with it. They want a new shop. They want a new place to go. Our society right now is ready to have in-person experiences, and the brick and mortar storefront little shops are a dream. This is what I want to bring back. This is what I want to show you is something that is completely doable. All those pieces that are scattered to the wind of what it is that you have to put together to open it up, we're going to bring it right back here on this channel. I hope this was helpful today. If you guys have any comments, what your favorite takeaway was, put them down there. Make sure you like this channel or like this video and subscribe to my channel so that I can bring back videos every week and start bringing in some information for you if you're looking to open your own storefront. I hope you guys have a great week. I will see you next time, and we'll dive into one more thing that will help you get your brick and mortar to your grand opening.